Hey everyone, Dave back with you today before the Lake to Lake Paddle Challenge. I am in Greenville, Pennsylvania at Cianci's Motel. I'm here for the night. I've got the Dave the Kayaker mobile with my Westside Boat Shop Wave Exceed loaded up, ready to do a 30-mile race in the morning. This seems like a pretty cool area of the country. I'm walking right over there for dinner tonight, and I'm hoping they can make me a little doggy bag with breakfast food in the morning, so I can just heat it up in my room and be on my way early. So I'm gonna have 3 cameras hopefully tomorrow, 2 body cams, one on me, one on the front of the boat, and then another camera on the front of the boat pointing in the opposite direction. So hopefully I'll get some good video of this and edit something together. It's a new race to me. I'm looking forward to it. I haven't raced anything in excess of 20 miles in quite some time, so this will be a neat little challenge. There's my motel room for the night, pretty cozy, and I'll check in tomorrow at the probably the finish line. I'm going to drop my boat at the starting line, then drive to the finish line, leave my truck there, and then get a shuttle back up to the starting line. So we'll see how all that goes. I generally don't sleep all that well the night before races, so I'll probably be up early anyways. Check out Westside Boat Shop Kayaks at davethekayaker.com, and I'll see you on race day tomorrow. Hey, it is Dave with you this morning. It is 5:30 a.m. in Pymatuning State Park in Pennsylvania. My light on my truck just went off. I just dropped my boat, got the camera set up, got my GPS watch affixed to the front. Now I'm going to take a little nap. I like to get here early to make sure I take care of all the gazillion little details without stress of being in a rush. So I'll let you know when it gets light and shoot some more video. All right, so my boat is dropped at the starting line, and now I'm at the finish line in Lake Shenango at North Point Marina. I got a good look. As you come here, you'll see a little causeway here, a bridge, and the marina is on the upstream side of that, and you can't really see it, but off in the distance there's a little point out there, and it looks like a scraggly little island. So that's going to be my landmark for today. When I see that point with the scraggly little island, I'm going to know this marina is tucked in here on the left. I'm doing this hopefully to help other people in future years. We'll see, but waiting for the shuttle, and I will touch in just a couple seconds at the start of the race. All right, so I am shuttled back to the starting line, and now we are just chilling for like an hour and 15 minutes before the start of the race. This is the upstream of the starting line. The starting line will be right here. That is Pymatuning Lake there. That's the dam. And then looking downstream, it looks like it's going to be just a narrow, I guess it's called a river, but it looks like a wide creek to me. But yeah, it should be fun. Looking forward to it. Everybody's telling me, even though it's advertised as a 30-mile race, it's going to run closer to 28. I got a good look at the finish line and the marina there at the end, so hopefully I'll know what I'm doing when I get there. But this is my first time. I have no aspirations to place or anything like that. I just want to get out there, paddle well. Hopefully the tendons in my arms hold up, and I just want to have a good time and complete this race because I've never done it before. This is fresh water to me, and I just hope I have a good day, and hope I survive to tell you about it more at the finish line. When they see you coming, they'll see your number. Here we are at the safety briefing before the race. All the paddlers for the 30-miler are assembled and paying astute attention. And here I am carrying my boat down to the water, getting on about 10 minutes early just to loosen up a little bit. You'll see me hop in the boat here and lift my feet up to drain the water out of my shoes, because I'd rather leave that water in the river than have it drain inside my boat and get stinky later. So just chilling here for a few minutes. You'll see my body cam there. Here we paddle around a bit, and just to warm up, and I'm chatting with some fellow racers. There's really no need to warm up a whole lot here because I I'll start this race kind of slow because I know, you know, for a 30-mile race, the first mile really is the warm-up. You really don't need to do much paddling beyond that. So we're getting ready for the starting horn, and there it was. There's the bridge I was just standing on. That was actually the starting line, so I'm actually starting from behind here. And here it is from another angle, another camera on my boat looking backwards. Here you see I had to duck a little bit for that bridge. And, you know, we're kind of just getting a feel for things, loosening up, and, you know, kind of gauging the competition. And here you have it from another camera angle. That was the same bridge that we started from, just a different angle here. And you see the people ahead of me, and I start kind of passing them, picking them off one at a time. Now, this river at this point is deceiving. It seems kind of wide, and boy, it really got narrow very quickly, and there were a lot of sweepers, and a few strainers, and logs, and rocks, trees down all over the place. So this was really a challenging kind of river this day. Not at all what I expected, because it required a lot of maneuvering and avoiding obstacles. There's Hansel Lucas. He will be the eventual winner in the long kayak surf ski division. You hear these canoeists on my left there saying "hut hut hut" or whatever they say to indicate to each other to switch the side they're paddling on. And in just a few seconds here, you're going to see them go under a tree branch, and this was a pretty slick maneuver. The guy's hat in front fell off, got knocked off by a tree branch, and the lady in the back just reached out and caught his hat. Here it comes. It was very slick. It was kind of amazing to see this. There goes the hat right there. And she's like, I got it. And now she makes this move and almost wipes me out. I had to really hit the brakes and swing right to avoid that. That was probably on me. I was a little too close. But here we see one tree in the water, so I've got to swing a little bit left to get around it. And this is really just the first few minutes of the race, so just sit back and enjoy. Alright, so I end up between these two canoes here, and we'll go around the bend, and there's going to be a tree leaning out from river right. It's going to be a sweeper. And they call them sweepers because, like a broom, it tends to like to sweep paddlers off the water. So these guys are getting a little close. I'm backing off to give them room. I don't want to, you know, trade any paint with anybody. Here's another bridge. And I'm thinking about swinging left here, but then I realized I might decapitate myself. The only passage here really was in the middle where it was highest. So I took the middle route along with everybody else. And you'll see I backed off a little bit there to pull that one off. Again, it's still very early in the race. Here we come around the bend. There's that guy in that Kevlar canoe. And he gets into a little trouble here, and I don't exactly see what happens. I know there's a tree out here. Something happens here somewhere, and I don't know what. But he gets into trouble. He ends up going into the tree, and I'm hitting the brakes and trying to get as quickly as far left as I possibly can to miss him. And there you see I go through the tree. And there's an expletive from behind me. Now I'm going to show this again in super slow motion from another angle just to explain what's going on. Here's where I see that canoe flipped into the tree. I hit the brakes. I'm trying to get as far left as I possibly can. And the name of the game here is don't hit the person who flipped and go for the thinnest, narrowest branches you can. Then I feel myself getting hit by another boat. Then I feel somebody, what I think is somebody grabbing my shoulder. And I think somebody's flipping and they're about to take me with them. So I kind of grab the edge of their boat, and then I feel a hand on my boat. And now I'm dragging my paddle on my left. I'm trying to get through this tree through the thinnest branches possible while avoiding that capsized canoe. Here you see me stick that paddle way out to the left to not only hit the brakes, but try to get the boat farther left into the thinner branches. And I'm just kind of covering my face with my right hand, trying to not take any branches to the face. And somehow I managed to stay upright through here, and it was kind of 50-50 during this whole, what was really just a second or two. But there was a lot going on, from feeling somebody hitting me to feeling them on my shoulder to, you know, somebody grabbing my boat. I'm thinking somebody's flipping and they're just grabbing onto somebody and they're going to take me out with them. So I was just trying to avoid that. But I managed to get through. And, you know, when I went through the branches, I held the paddle parallel, really right in line with the kayak to make myself as thin and small as possible and not get my paddle crosswise to the tree branches. I was just trying to pierce through like a needle. And here you see it in real speed. It all happened so fast. It really did. I see the canoe, I'm trying to get left, boom, arm rubbing, boat grabbing, branch hitting. And a few minutes later downriver, I actually feel like the right side of my face is bleeding, and I reach up to feel it to see if I see blood on my hand. I didn't, but I do have sort of like a red blood blister on my right ear even days later. So I did hit one of those branches pretty hard. And there I mouthed some words there. I think I said, you know, that was close, or almost lost it. And here it is just downstream of there, and the pack is really spreading out here. So I'll just let you enjoy some more paddling here. This is the Shenango River. This is just an example of some of the obstacles. There were a lot of trees leaning over. There were a lot of stumps in the water, branches to avoid. I hit some rocks. There's Steve Corbett in front of me, and he and I and John Dunkelberger we paddled a lot of the early miles very close together, kind of trading who was in front several times. Steve is a great guy. He organizes the Little D on the Monocacy race. Here's a little maneuvering to get around some wood in the water and some branches. It was really challenging paddling. There were a lot of obstacles in the river. There's John Dunkelberger.
You okay, John?
He got stuck on a log. Steve Corbett did a video where he freeze framed.
More of an obstacle course than anything.
And he said Dunkelberger's stuck on a log, and I think, you know, this year's Christmas gift should be Dunkelberger on a log rather than Elf on the Shelf. There goes John. Steve is ahead there. John is a really strong paddler, and I was pretty sure he was going to be ahead of me by several minutes on this day, even before we started racing. He's just that good of a guy. Here is the camera on Steve Corbett's canoe, and there you see me on the left. Thanks, Steve, for doing this video and allowing me permission to use a portion of it. But we were just kind of like, he and I and John were just paddling together, like I said, for many miles. I'm going to say like 19 miles. We were packed pretty tightly together until we spread out a little bit. But there's my Westside Boat Shop Wave Exceed that I was paddling that day. We were chatting and visiting. Here's yelling out a warning to me, telling me there's a rock.
I had a slightly different line, but thank you.
So we're working together, we're communicating, and we're helping each other out to avoid snags, and this is what the spirit of competition really should be, is people out there having fun and just watching out for each other. And that was my view for much of the race. Really, it was Steve Corbett and John Dunkelberger in front of me. For a little while, I found myself kind of in no man's land. There goes Steve. Again, we exchanged being in front of each other and behind each other several times throughout this race. And then there's Dunkelberger coming up on my right. Some more obstacles here. Trying to pick the best line. But here I get stuck on some rocks. It was just that kind of race. Now I'm catching up to one of the 15-milers. There's a 15-mile version of this race, so I'm catching up to those people and passing them. Then as you get to the end of the river, you enter the lake, and there's a little island there. And I decided to go left, and that was the wrong choice because I got stuck on a log. If you do this in the future, go right. And then all of a sudden you turn a bend, and you're out in the open lake here, Lake Shenango. Here is the fast sea kayak guy. I believe this is Rick Widman. Man, he had a lot of gas left in the tank. He is a really, really good paddler. And he just smoked me at the end. In this lake, there is boat traffic. This guy obviously just couldn't wait to get those kids out and pull them on whatever they were sitting on. But it's like 3 or 4 miles. It's just open water paddling with speedboats. And then here you see the finish line. You have a digital timer there, so you know your time, but I was roughly 4:26. It's always nice to have people cheering for you at the end. And there's John Dunkelberger and Hansel Lucas there, finishing 1 and 2 in the long kayak surf ski division. There's Rick getting his fast sea kayak out. And we're chatting and visiting and talking about our experiences, and here I am just basically turning off the camera. Okay, so I just finished the race, and this was really like 2 races. You paddle for about, I'm going to say 18, 19 miles down a very narrow winding river, and then you hit the lake here. And it just kind of opens up and gets flat, and then once you're into the lake proper, you get speedboat wakes and whatnot. I feel pretty good about what I did. I think as a solo kayaker surf ski, I believe I came in 4th. There was a guy in a sea kayak who passed me on the last 2 miles here. I just didn't have any juice left, and he's a good paddler, obviously. He just passed me like it was nothing. And then I'm not so comfortable in water with boat wakes hitting me from the side. So last couple miles, I was paddling, I was giving it what I had left, but I was also just making sure I didn't flip over, because I would have been ashamed to do that in the last 2 miles. I'm still waiting for the award ceremony. We've got vendors here with food. Well-organized race. I really like these point-to-point races where there's a shuttle rather than an out and back or a loop or something like that. So it's going to take me days to edit all this video together. I had 2 body cams, one on my body, one on the front of the boat, and then like a GoPro clone up there too, and it's many hours worth of video. Early in the race there were some boats that mixed it up. Somebody, I don't know exactly what happened, but when I got there, somebody was into a tree, a sweeper, and then I just heard boats colliding. I managed to avoid it somehow. I just ducked and went through a branch and was able to make it through, and I figured that was the best thing I could have done at that point, was just keep paddling and get out of the way. But I guess it was a pretty big pile up. So there you have it, the Lake to Lake Paddle Challenge 2024. Yeah, come out next year. It's a great race, great organizers. It's like 2 races in one. Like I said, downriver and open water. And, for the most part, I did what I wanted to do. I kept myself upright. I kept paddling, and I just followed where the water went. It was a little bit like an obstacle course. There was a lot of dodging of down trees and limbs and logs. I hit a few logs, I hit a few rocks, I got some new scrapes in the boat. Great time. Absolutely enjoyed it, and I hope to be back next year. Until next time, love the sport, take what it has to give you, and pay it forward.
When you want an extraordinary racing kayak made in the finest American tradition, or maybe just own a piece of American kayaking history, you want a West Side Boat Shop kayak, now available from davethekayaker.com. West Side Boat Shop kayaks. The tradition continues.